1, 2, 3.
Oh! Ew!
Right.
2.
Yep.
In a funny way, I mean, it doesn't smell too bad.
So you have the honor of scooping them out.
Oh!
1 year ago, you watched this on Talking Point. I went on a journey to find new solutions to counter Singapore's rat problem. And now, I'm back investigating the same problem. And that's because the problem has grown.
So big that there are new efforts to eradicate them.
This year, over 5,000 burrows have been detected. Almost double from when I first investigated the problem of this neighbourhood nuisance. Just what does it take to win the war against rats? Today, Indranee Raja, who is one of the members of parliament for Pasir Ris Changi GRC, is conducting a very special Meet the People session.
Thanks for joining us. This is our MPS Rat Edition.
Special edition. Have you seen rats in the area?
Yes, near our residential area, like 1, 2 a.m. I see like a gang of them scurrying everywhere. Trash, dumpsters in the garden area, sometimes even running around like the badminton court, chasing after food that has been left around by like, some of the residents.
Also, this is food that's scattered around. It's not bundled at the bin, but just left lying around.
Oh, there's actually a huge family of them.
And how often have you seen this?
I walk my dog every night around 8, so I see them quite often.
Almost every month, mostly a very big one.
Are you concerned that you're seeing rats around the area where you live?
For my children and my wife, they quite scared. The pet control used to come and catch, but you know the rat now smarter than the human.
There's a massive burrow that I've spotted just over there near the traffic light, and it's slowly been growing in size.
Since May, the Pasir Ris Changi Town Council has received about 40 rodent feedback related to Pasir Ris West. The complaints are often about rat sightings. But beyond being a nuisance, rats can also pose a deadly threat.
Hey Steve, how's it going?
Oh hey, thank you. Cheers.
Never thought about doing that.
You never know what could be on the surface of the can. Did you read of this story that came out recently where the Malaysian press reported that there was a Malaysian who apparently drank from a can, he fell ill, and then a couple of days later, he died.
Oh no.
Apparently what they found out was that he had contracted leptospirosis. This bacteria is found in the urine of different animals, for example, like dogs, horses, pigs, but more importantly, rats.
In fact, I don't even know what rat urine looks like. Does it look like regular urine? I mean, so it's yellow and does it have a smell?
Rat urine is quite obvious. You can smell it, but you may not be able to discern it from any other liquid apart from the smell.
Okay. But essentially you're saying people get sick because of the urine from the rat, which they may ingest somehow.
So ingestion is one mode.
Yeah.
The other mode is if you touch a contaminated surface, if you touch your mouth, so you could fall ill. The other way, of course, is if you have a cut or an abrasion in your skin and you get in touch with a contaminated surface, then yes, the bacteria could get into you.
And this disease, leptospirosis, right?
Right.
How bad is it? How does it affect us?
The usual symptoms are fever, headaches, skin rash, and these symptoms are quite common with many other diseases. But the good thing is that the fatality rates are not very, very high.
Okay.
So if the condition is managed well, usually with antibiotics, a person who is affected can recover quite quickly.
How worried should we be about this disease, leptospirosis?
In a recent study that was published in 2022, some researchers from the National Environment Agency, they found that at least a third to 45% of rodents that they trapped carried at least one type of agent that could cause disease. And the highest proportion of them had the agent that causes leptospirosis.
Oh, that's not good. Right? I mean, from what you're saying, it sounds like a lot of the ones they caught were found to be carrying this disease.
That's right, that's right.
Which means it's in our midst and among us.
If you look at the weekly disease bulletin that's released by the Communicable Diseases Agency, you'll see that rat-borne diseases appears to be on the rise. About 46 cases have been reported so far this year as of mid-August. And this is like a 50% increase compared to the 31 cases that were reported to August of 2024.
So besides leptospirosis, are there other diseases that rats carry?
Yes, one of the more common ones that are found in Singapore is marine typhus. So on rats, you can find rat fleas. Rat fleas will basically bite an infected rat. And then if the fleas bite a human, then the human could get marine typhus.
But is this as common as leptospirosis or even less so?
This is kind of unusual. This year, there are more cases of marine typhus compared to leptospirosis. And this is something that we should be thinking about more carefully looking into. It suggests that more people are being exposed to the disease agents. Possibly more people are getting bites through the rat fleas.
So even though the fatality rate may be low for these two rat-borne diseases, what's most terrifying is that there is no way to avoid them unless you steer clear of areas riddled with rats. And according to the NEA, the majority of burrows found were near public housing estates, but they don't reveal exactly where the hotspots are. Because as a worried resident, I'm thinking which are the areas I should avoid, but they were not willing to give me that data.
A war on rats have been declared in Pasir Ris West. MP Indranee Raja has launched a campaign focusing on preventive measures involving multiple agencies, food operators and residents.
Member of Parliament Indranee's strategy is called the Rat Fix Campaign. It comprises the 5 C's: cutting the rat's food source, clearing the burrows, culling the rats, communicating best practices and gathering feedback on rat sightings. Lastly, coordinating stall owners, residents and the government agencies to ensure a targeted attack on the rats.
So what made you decide to wage this war on rats here in Pasir Ris?
Well, because there's very high incidence of rat complaints. Actually, do you know, the first living creature that greeted me when I came to Pasir Ris was a rat.
Oh!
I came down from the car park, walked past this green dumpster, and out popped this rat. This one had attitude. And it just gave me this kind of look like, huh, what's up? What are you doing here? And I was like, really? You know?
You're like, okay, you and me, man, we on.
Yeah.
Okay. But is Pasir Ris West one of the rodent hotspots in Singapore?
I'm not sure it's a hotspot island-wide, but there are particular spots in Pasir Ris that have higher rat sightings and complaints than other areas.
But actually, how do you know how many burrows are in your area?
The Town Council gets the information from NEA, which does its own checks and surveys. NEA will tell specific town councils the burrows for their area, which are under their responsibility.
So actually, I did ask them because, you know, as a worried resident, I'm thinking which are the areas I should avoid, but they were not willing to give me that data.
I think it's a question of who's asking and for what purpose. So obviously, town councils need to know for the areas under their responsibility.
Okay, but it's just, you know, if I'm worried about the illness that they spread, I want to avoid certain areas, so I want to know where all these rats are hanging out, you know, I wouldn't be able to get a sense of that.
I think that actually, if you are concerned about health and so on, you just keep to the normal measures that you would take. You don't eat contaminated food. Basically, you know, the normal hygiene measures. That'll be fine.
What makes you think Pasir Ris West is so popular with the rats?
It boils down to food source.
Okay, so dumpsters like these, right, Adrian?
Yes. So this is one of the food source here, and they normally would go from the below of the dumpsters.
Well, what do you mean by go from below? Isn't it just sealed below?
Basically, every dumpster needs to be washed. And because it needs to be washed, every dumpster has a hole with a stopper. So if the stopper is not replaced, it's like this ready-made little doorway and entrance.
I see, okay. And if it isn't capped, then the rats are like, whoo,
yes,
gateway to heaven.
And also sometimes if the lid is left open, even though people may have bagged the garbage, rats can chew through anything. And so if you leave the lid open, then the rats can jump in. The key thing is to make sure that the rubbish is bagged and put inside and the lid is closed. And the other difficulty obviously is people don't like to touch the lid to open it.
Dirty, right? You imagine.
Yeah. So there's a temptation to leave a bag on top or leave it at the bottom, and that's not great. So one of the things we're exploring together with NEA is whether we could have the type of bin where you can have a foot pedal and then it can open, then you can put whatever it is you need to put in and then let it close.
Is that good enough?
If you control the food source, you control the rat population. But they will not come to areas where they find difficulty in finding food. So they move on to another area.
So it doesn't get rid of the rats, it just relocates them, sends them to my neighbour.
Yep.
As long as there's food, they will keep moving, looking for the next best meal. Is there anything about a place like Singapore, which is highly urbanized, that makes it, great for rats to live in?
So rats adapt well, they're smart. As long as there's crevices, defects on the premises, they can form a colony, and from there on, they'll infest the area. The small holes are great because their body is flexible, they can squeeze in and eventually create a bigger gap.
So they're basically like contortionists. They can sort of wriggle into different spots.
The data we've had so far is by tracking burrows, right? But now that we know they live crevices, cracks, so does that mean there are way more rats than we think there are?
It's possible.
So there are actually two main reasons for the increased rat sightings and feedback. One's food sources, but the other is construction activity. So here you can see quite a bit of construction activity, and this is one of the estates where there is a higher incidence of rat feedback.
So as a result, you're saying the residents in this area
will have
given feedback that they are seeing more rats?
Well, from the residents' viewpoint, the feedback comes to me that that they've seen rats. But when I map it and triangulate the information, I find that the areas where there's more feedback on rats is construction areas. I mean, look, if somebody goes and shakes your home, you will come out, right? So that's happening to them, and hence they go and look for other places
for a new home that is a bit calmer. And,
that's right.
Yeah. So is it a case of there being actually more rats, or are we just talking about more rat sightings?
I think that results in more sightings because you've disturbed their home, they're coming out. Obviously, they have a steady food source and they have a place to live. That's more likely to lead to higher numbers of rats.
What are some of the things that could have been done before construction work begins to minimize this issue?
Well, I guess a survey on the area to detect any rat activities and treat it, get rid of a rat population in the area, then you can start the construction.
This is the National Environment Agency's sample contract specifications for construction sites. When it comes to rats, by the second week of contract commencement or at the start of every new construction stage, contractors must file a detailed report on the rat burrows and activity on site. After which, it's monthly follow-ups with photos, treatments, and prevention steps.
So, if it's a requirement that all burrows at construction sites are reported and treated, why then is construction leading to an increase in rat sightings?
Howard Howe is part of the association that represents over 3,000 contractors.
Do all contractors deal with the rodent problem before they start construction work?
Yes, we do. We engage a third-party pest controller with their vector control operator to do a check around the site for burrows in the beginning. And then if no burrows, we'll just continue with the work.
Oh, sometimes there are no burrows.
Yes, correct. So if you have no food and nothing there for the rodents, normally rodents won't stay in this kind of area.
So the sites that usually have burrows are which kind?
Those that are near to food establishment, hawker centers, even close residents where the refuse management is not well taken care, then you do have burrows coming into the site.
So that is one of the problems, because very often the sites are right next to where people live.
All right.
Existing flats, you know.
Okay.
They are getting all the rodents, the pests, the rats coming to them.
So when there are burrows, we will engage the pest controller to carry out eradication of either the burrows or the rats. But the rats could actually escape.
So before any construction work is done, you're saying all the proper pest control is being done. And that does work, but of course in some cases, some of the rats can still escape.
That's correct.
You can't catch all of them.
Yeah, that's correct.
How long does that whole process take?
About 2 weeks.
So if you find rat burrows before starting construction work, you have to wait till all the burrows are cleared before you can start work?
We don't stop work totally and then do this treatment. We can do the eradication of the burrows, but other place the work still can do. Some of the piling works, they are normally situated in the center of the building because burrows are normally found at the edge of the building.
But the moment you start piling, go boom, boom, I'm sure all the rats will run.
Well, it all depends. If we found that there's burrow, the area that is going to do piling, maybe we'll stop. We will ensure that the burrows are treated first.
How can you be so sure that all the contractors are carrying out pre-construction rodent control works?
I'm very sure that all main contractors will make sure that they have all these checks done before they carry out the work, so that the rats will all not be a problem after they do the construction.
I mean, it's just that we know that it takes time, it costs money, and once you start construction, the rats will run off anyway.
Once we've discovered a burrow, action will be taken immediately.
Yeah. So in your opinion, everyone, all the main contractors are taking the necessary pest control measures?
Yes.
When it comes to construction sites, the National Environment Agency carries out checks to ensure that the laws are complied with. And if contractors don't, NEA has the power to issue fines and even issue stop work orders.
So Minister Indranee has said that construction sites are displacing rats from that area, sending them into the surrounding neighbourhoods. But a rep from the Singapore Contractors Association told us that they are doing rodent control measures pre-construction. So where are these rats coming from?
What Minister Indranee observed is accurate.
Okay, but shouldn't these rats already not be there? Because the contractor site said they are taking measures to do pre-construction rodent control measures.
It actually takes time for the entire regime to work to eradicate the rats fully. And the rat control treatment in itself, solely depending on that, is inefficient and is ineffective. Because without controlling the food source and the harborage, we are just fighting an upstroke battle.
So does that mean the pre-construction pest control treatment does not really work because there's still rats there?
I wouldn't say it doesn't work, more like it takes time for it to work.
How do you know whether they've done it properly and whether they've given it enough time to solve the problem before they start construction?
So we will conduct physical inspection to ensure that whatever measures necessary are put in place while the construction site work are ongoing.
How often is your routine check?
It depends. So some sites can be checked as frequent as 1 month or even shorter.
How do you determine which site needs more checking or less checking?
So there are a few factors that we take into consideration. One, whether we know that there's existing public health issues, be it rats or mosquito or whatever. So when we go in and check, we will check for all these.
But you don't check every site, right?
Oh, we do check them.
Every site?
Yes, we do check them. But I think the issue here is that before they start work, can we stop them from doing any construction work until they conduct the treatment? This is something that we have to explore and see whether it meets our local context.
Why not make sure that it is de-ratted before they start work?
So we will explore this, but I just have to be very realistic that if we have to set this regulation, it may have broader implication, project delays, etc.
So I did a quick check online to see if other countries have taken the lead in de-ratting an area before construction even begins. And this is what I found. Over in New York City, which also struggles with a rat problem, in 2023 they passed a law. Now this means that building permits are only issued if a site is certified rat-free.
Now in Singapore, before construction can begin, companies have to obtain their permit from the Building and Construction Authority. They oversee the structural safety of buildings. Separately, NEA carries out checks to keep sites in line with the law when it comes to rodents.
Unlike Singapore, where permits are given regardless of the rodent situation there, over in New York, they demand proof of a rat-free site before any construction work begins.
For what it's worth, I'm sending my suggestion to the Ministry of National Development. They oversee the Building and Construction Authority, the agency that issues permits for construction. I hope they can consider only allowing construction to take place after the area has been cleared of rats.
So tonight we're going to use peanut butter and bread.
Next week, the war on rats continues.
Okay, let's go.
I follow up on the progress of MP Indranee's war on rats.
Oh wow, that's...
And uncover just why some areas...
Wow, so now we're seeing 15, we could be seeing up to 50 rats.
Yeah, it's possible.
Can't get rid of their rat problem.
Oh, there you go. Oh, there we go. They're literally just out here, not afraid of us at all. I would be scared to live here.
I think I will be as well.
Yeah.